color. So today we're talking about anxiety and panic attacks. Do you know that nearly 40 million adults in the United States every single year deal with some kind of anxiety disorder? Some kind of anxiety disorder, and 301 million people worldwide are dealing with anxiety. It affects everyone. And at one time, about 10 years ago, at one time, it really affected me. I started having major panic attacks and anxiety, and it was just a wild situation. So I know how you're feeling. Let me just tell you, it doesn't have to always be like that. This too shall pass. So today in this video, I want to share how to actually, I'm gonna move this over. This is a little crooked. How to actually get over panic and anxiety. Ooh, sorry. There we go. So in this video, I want to share how to get over panic and anxiety naturally so that you can depend less. If you're on medication, maybe you can depend less on it. I'm not your doctor. I'm just saying. Maybe you can depend less on medication. Maybe instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it, you can actually get to a solution, and then you will actually find, some dang. I'm messing up here. There we go. As I was saying, so that you can like get to a solution instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it. To me, my personal opinion is medications don't always solve things. Okay. And anxiety, honestly, is a beautiful wake-up call. It's really for you to get in touch with your true self so that you can live the life that God has meant for you to live. So let's get into it. So, how to deal with panic attacks and anxiety naturally. I know firsthand how debilitating panic attacks can be. I mean, it's crushing. I call it the wave because, like, it felt like a wave of something came over me when I was having a panic attack. And I went to the emergency room. And I actually, before I did that, I called my nurse line on, like, the back of your card for your insurance, and it was like, call the nurse line if you got questions. So I called, I say, hey, this is what's happening. She was like, girl, you need to get to the emergency room. Hurry up. Da, 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 da. So she started rattling off this stuff. And I think that made it worse. But at least I felt like I had some support because I was away from family and friends. I was like 800 miles away from family and friends. And I was in a new city, new job, new apartment, all the different things. And I think that coupled with, bad eating, caffeine, and my anxious thoughts, I had been through a divorce. It was like a lot of stuff going on in my head. And I think it all came together right there and then. And so I was dealing with something. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the craziest thing I ever experienced. I had never experienced it, never heard anyone else experience it. Now they got songs looping about my anxiety, and it is what it is. But the thing is, when I was experiencing that, I thought I was gonna die, just to be honest. I thought I was gonna die. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. Like, dang. Like it's not funny, but that was the thought that was going through my head. Not the dang part, but it's like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. And I just quickly made peace. I was like, God, whatever it is, it is. I'm in your hands. So whatever it is, it is. And then I remember the doctor coming, right? They do all those tests and do all those things. And they're like, all right, you can go. And I was like, where I'm going? I was like, where I'm going? And he was like, you can go home. And I was like, well, what happened? It's not my heart. It got to be my heart. My heart was racing. My heart was pumping. He was like, no, it was a panic attack. It was anxiety. He's like, do, 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 do. And he holding this paper, give me this paper. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He was like, I don't know. Here's your prescription. I was like, for what? He was like, anxiety meds. I was like, anxiety meds? You mean to tell me I gotta take anxiety meds like to manage this? He was like, that's what we prescribe. I said, I don't want this. And he was just like, that's what we do. That's what we do. And so I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta take this. I said, I gotta take this for the rest of my life to get this under control. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, no. He was like, well, you can get the prescription filled or not. That's your business. But this is what it is. And I'm looking at him, he looking at me, and like it felt like everything else in that moment was just going, going, going. And me and the doctor was just standing there across from each other. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. But anyway, That's what I was like, nope, not me. I'm not doing this forever like this. What started it, how did I get here, and how I get out of this. So that's what I want to present to you, some information that can help you maybe start your journey towards managing it naturally if you haven't ever if you haven't ever started, or maybe this will just give you a new insight, a new perspective, so that you can add on some new tools, to your tool belt and have a fresh, happy life. Because what what normally, in my opinion and in my observation and experience, what normally happens when people have serious things like this means that you were supposed to do something like really, really special, really, really unique, something that's so creative, something that's just meant just for you to do. And the enemy wants to stop you, quite honestly. The enemy wants to stop you from doing you, and he's trying to cripple you because he attacks our mind first. That's how he gets us under his control. The enemy attacks our mind and makes it so that we're distracted. We can't think straight. People are judging us, and sometimes we're so concerned about what other people think, we get caught up in that and away from what God wants us to do. And it's just another tool the enemy uses. He got his tools too that the enemy uses to like control us. It's a form of spiritual warfare. Yes, it's brain chemistry. Yes, it's the foods that you eat. Yes, it's your people, places, and thing that's around you. But it is also spiritual warfare. So again, I want to just say I am not a doctor. I went to the doctor, but I am not a medical doctor or medical professional. Please consult yours before you put any of these suggestions into play. Okay. All right. So the first step that I did was I had to cope with what I was going through. I had to find coping strategies because when that panic attack hit, like, oh my gosh, that panic attack hit hard. I didn't know what to do at first. I was like, first of all, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. I had no idea what it was. I don't know about you. Like if you knew about it before and then like you're like, oh, well, this is what I'm having. Or was it like something really sudden? Like for me, it was like totally, totally blindsided. I was like, I have no idea what this is. That's why I went to the emergency room. I had no idea what it was. So I go to I went to the emergency room. That's what they tell me, and it just didn't make sense to me. So that I had to like read up on it and understand it and dive in. And I needed to find a way to cope because this could happen when I'm at work. This could happen when I'm in the car. This could happen when I'm going here, going there. And guess what? It did. Every kind of which way it was happening. And I was like, I got to slow this down. So I learned some coping strategies. And for me, the one that really, really helped me the most was my breath control. If you're in a panic attack, more than likely your breath is shallow. Your breath is hurried. It's like somebody's chasing me. You're running in your mind. Your energy is like running, like you're trying to get away from something. The fear of it and everything is like part of that fight or flight syndrome where your body thinks you're under attack. So your heartbeat races, your energy kind of picks up and all the things, and your breath is shallow, right? So I learned how to control my breath, which dramatically helped me control the panic attacks. Now, understanding why my breath was like that, like my pace of my breathing was like that, is because of my thinking. We're going to get to that in a minute, but the breath control is what helps you to kind of take control of the situation. It helps you to put a pin in it. So yeah, it may have came on, but I'm going to stop it now. But I'm going to take control by using my breath. And one of the techniques I used that I really, really loved was the 4-7-8. Excuse me, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. And what you do is you breathe in for 4 counts, right? Hold it for 7. So you breathe in, and then breathe out. Breathe out for 8. So it's, and for me, it was like I would find the rhythm of it, right? So I'm like, y'all, that just melted me. That just melted me. That right there, when I learned how to do that, that right there helped me to just like knock out the onset of the wave that was hitting me in that panic. I was like, no, I'm not doing this today. No, thank you. I'm gonna breathe my way through this. And then I'm also like trying to get my mindset right. Like once you get your breathing right, try that 4-7-8. And it's tons of videos on it. Maybe I'll do a separate video just on breathing if that's helpful. Let me know in the comments. But the 4-7-8 really helps you get your breathing just to be back to regular. It brings in more oxygen into your body. It helps to calm your nerves. It helps to calm like the thoughts that are bouncing back and forth because number one, it changes your focus, but it literally helps like bring in more oxygen. And if we're breathing shallow, right, then we're not getting much oxygen, and that can lead to other things. Okay. So the next thing is, like I was saying, those thoughts, right? Those thoughts that you're thinking, some of them are operating consciously, like I'm saying things to you right now, and some of them are operating subconsciously, like deep in your mind. They're like on constant play over and over and over. You don't really like know they're there unless you're aware of it at this moment. But those are the things that we tell ourselves, those deep seated beliefs, right? Those deep seated beliefs that are driving what we do every day, right? The decisions we make with the food, the people we hang out with, where we go, how we spend our time, right? All of those things are driven by subconscious decisions, subconscious thoughts. And those subconscious thoughts, unfortunately, when they're negative, right? It's like a negative loop in your brain and it's running you pretty much. It's running you. Once I got a hold of my thoughts, I was like, you got to be like, I heard myself saying stuff because I was like just doing some different exercises and I was just like, oh my gosh, I think negative. And guess what? Most of us do. Most people's brains gravitate toward negativity. You're not the only one, right? Most people's brains gravitate toward negativity. But the key is with this, what led you to your panic? What led you to your anxiety? What are you thinking? You gotta have to do some work. Stop for a minute, get real with yourself, and just ask yourself, what was I doing before this happened? And what was I doing at the moment it happened? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? The thinking, the stinking thinking, the messy messages, it puts you into a place of a positive experience or a negative experience. And if you're thinking negative things over and over and over, you're going to get a negative experience. If you're thinking positive things over and over and over, you're going to get a positive experience. It's just that simple. The hard part is one, recognizing that we have actually, are thinking negative. Two, recognizing the actual thoughts so we can get those on paper and flip those over to positive statements and affirmations. And three, just being real with ourselves because sometimes it's painful because we're reliving past trauma, we're reliving past experiences, and sometimes we're just not brave enough to do that. And that's okay temporarily. But you have to find some inner strength and say, I made my mind up. I don't want to go through this. It's time for me to move on. And guess what? You got to move on. You have to move on. So I would suggest you check out what you're really thinking and get that journal going. Now, add a power word or a power phrase. You got your negative thoughts in your mind. You know what's happening and what you're dwelling on, or you're so anxious about what's about to happen next. We can't control the future. We can only control the now. But you're so anxious about what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's a power word or phrase you can use when you're in the moment of that panic to help you get through? For me, I always been saying, this too shall pass. That lets me know this is temporary. This is temporary, and I don't have to hold on to this as being my forever. And I don't have to have the fear of this being my forever. I know it's going to pass by. So think of a power word or phrase for you to use in the moment. And then think of a power word or phrase that you can use to move forward. So I've already stopped the panic with my breathing, right? And I'm checking out these messages in my head, like what's going on. I'm checking that out, right? Now I'm using my words to command my life, to put in some new subconscious beliefs. Because I owe that to myself. I've been through it. Let me keep going through it and go past it. We don't want to wallow, right? That's what brings some of these things on. So I have my power words and my phrases, and I'm repeating that instead. Maybe you can say, let go and let God. Because a lot of times we're holding on to things that we have no control over, and we're holding on to that for dear life because we're scared to take the next step. And it's important for you to take that next step, because just like you depend on someone else for different things and they inspire your life, there are people waiting on you to take your next steps and be in that position, because you're going to inspire them. You're going to help them. You're one of those people. I know you are. Okay, so use a power word or phrase. If you have any helpful power words or phrases, put it in the comments. Maybe it can help somebody else. Okay, so now let's just say this moment has passed. You got your power word or phrase. You got your thoughts. They thinking better, right? And you're repeating a thing. You're repeating things that are helping you. Think about your lifestyle, people, places, and things. Where are you hanging out? Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing? What are you surrounding yourself with? What are you listening to? Is it building you up or is it tearing you down? Are you around people who are naysayers? Are you around people who are constantly trying to speak over your life in a negative way? Maybe it's time to part ways. Maybe it's time to take a step back. Hey, you know what? I'm going to do me today. I'll catch up with y'all later. You don't have to tell them why. That's not their business. But give yourself permission, right, to do something different so you can get a different result. You keep doing the same thing over, expecting a different result. Isn't that like a form of insanity? But if you're desperate to change, like I was, if you're desperate to change, it's like, no, I gotta do this. It has to change now. I gotta do this now. And then you change who you are because you want to be someone different. You don't want to be the victim and the person that experienced anxiety and panic. You want to be the conqueror. And you have to now do conquering things. You decide what that is. You know, you probably already know, but you go for it. So think about who you're around, what you're doing. Now, be patient with yourself. The next step. Be patient. Take your time. At first, when I was having the panic, I was like, I want this to stop now. And then I'd be okay for a while. And then it would happen again. I'm like, you guys have been kidding me. And I just gave up. I surrendered. I was like, I surrender. God, I know you got me. I know you're not going to leave me like this. So I'm going to let go. And I'm going to just take it as it comes. And then I'm also going to do my steps as they come. And I'm going to find a way to take care of this and let that be the forefront thought. And that was it. When you beat yourself up about it and you're going on about your business and you're trying to like rush, you're going to miss something. Remember I said like you're supposed to be someone that does something with this. Don't miss this, because if you miss the lesson and steps, you got to go back to scratch. And that's all the way from the beginning. Let's not do that. Let's take the lesson. Let's take what we need to address, those hidden traumas, those hidden beliefs, and all those things, and let's move forward. But be patient. Your panic and anxiety didn't start in a day, and you're not gonna like magically cure it in a day. So be patient. Prioritize yourself. Get yourself to bed on time. Staying up late, your body and organs, your liver need time to adjust, your kidneys need time to filter waste, your lungs, everything has to regenerate. Things regenerate when you're sleeping. And I know I was staying up too late, and it throws everything off. And if you think about not eating correctly, that's another one, that's another thing. Not eating correctly, that combined with poor sleep and the messy messages and the negative phrases, all negative phrases and all the anxious thoughts, that's how we got here. And I want you to know that it can be reversed. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but in my opinion, because it happened for me. It happened for me. Like I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I don't want it for you. So I hope this helps. If your mind is shifting and your mindset is shifting toward a positive place, you got your coping skills together, your thoughts are being rewired, right? You're focused now on positivity. You're finding the silver lining in your life, right? You're practicing the self-care, you're journaling, it's going for your walks, you're eating better. Then you want to add in those layers of the herbal supports like ashwagandha. Y'all, ashwagandha for me, let me tell you, ashwagandha was like a relaxation zone. I was like, why don't I know about this? I guess because I didn't need it at that point. But when I got it, I was like, this is the best. And let me tell you, a lot of vitamin deficiencies. So maybe ask your doctor to do some vitamin testing just to see if you're low on anything, like B vitamins, magnesium. Make sure your vitamin C is up to par. All those things. Are you eating fruits and vegetables? Do all your organs work the way they need to? Sometimes something simple as that could just cause it. But the ashwagandha plus my magnesium, and I get magnesium glycinate, game changer. It was a game changer for me. Game changer. So I can't tell you to go get it. Remember, I'm not a medical professional, but ask your medical provider or if these supplements, if they work for you. Maybe they will. And a general good multivitamin. That's what I did. So I just got my B's, my magnesium, ashwagandha, and all the other things I mentioned. And I had like this whole full body experience of negativity, sadness, um, unable to really cope with things. And now I'm like, hey, I'm thriving. I feel amazing because I pretty much changed my whole lifestyle. And then I make sure to eat better. No more excessive caffeine, no more excessive salt and sugars. Like I was going crazy with that because my job was so intense. So I was like stress eating. I was like, I gotta have this crunchy. I need this. If you crave crunchy foods, it's because of anxiety and stress. I'm like, I need to crunch something. So I'm like eating salty potato chips and all the things, and that just wreaks havoc on your whole system. So go easy on that. Ain't nothing wrong with chip every once in a while, but go easy on them. Your mind is powerful. And the most important component is helping you achieve lasting peace from anxiety and panic. Your mind is powerful. If you want it, you can have it. If you want it, you can have it. I hope that you go from feeling defeated to feeling hopeful. Now, if you need some extra help and resources, please reach out. I do have some links in the description that will help you in your journey. I have a bundle of that tells my story and it goes very much more in depth of all of the things regarding food, diet. There's a meal plan, there's a scripture list, there's a shopping list. It has all these different things in there of everything that I did to kind of overhaul my life so that, hey, I'm not stuck in this pattern of panicking and anxiety. But I had to change pretty much everything because my old life got me there. And I needed a new path and direction to get to the next place. So check out the links in the description. And the bundle may be good for you because it will help you to just put all the pieces together, right? Anyway, reach out if you have any questions. Leave me comments. Let me know if this was helpful. And I will see you on the next video. Be at peace and stay well.